Within Hitler's Third Reich, there were many different execution methods used against the enemies of the Nazis, and also those who rose up inside the nation. The Germans used the guillotine, or the Frauenbeil as it was known, the falling axe, to take the heads off thousands of people, including many women, during World War II. One of the most shocking executions saw a young woman, Sophie Scholl, defiantly go to her execution on the guillotine, and her executioner, Johann Reichmarks, noted that she was the bravest person who he ever had to send to their deaths. There were other methods of execution used, including hanging, and inside of Plötzensee prison, a hanging beam with multiple meat hooks could be found within the execution chamber in the outer courtyard, and following the July 20th plot which blew up Hitler's Wolf's Lair, injuring the Führer, there were many people who were condemned on this, and it was even said that Hitler even had these executions recorded so he could watch them back. But what is not as well known is that the Nazis shockingly even charged the families of those people who they executed for absolutely everything when it came to their executions, and they even charged the pennies that it cost to send the invoice to them. But what was the cost of an execution inside of the Third Reich? Welcome to the Untold Past. To support our channel, please make sure to subscribe. Bullet fees have been used throughout history in many different nations, and in particular they seem to be used inside of dictatorships or regimes which are considered oppressive. A bullet fee, as it is known, is a charge that a family of an executed person or condemned person incurs for the cost to the government of carrying out the execution. So the family of the person who was being executed would be forced to pay for the sake of their loved one being killed. But the Nazis fixed a specific fee to the cost of an execution. There were many people who rose up during the Third Reich's time in power, and many people conducted underground resistance against the Nazis and tried to subvert them in whatever ways they could. Because of this, there were many people who were sent to the execution chambers inside of German prisons, after being sentenced to death by the People's Court, the pro-Nazi judges signing off on the death warrants. The Nazis charged the families of those people who had been sentenced to death a fee of 300 Reichmarks for the execution to be carried out. This fee covered the cost of the executioner and his time, as well as an assistant, and sometimes even went towards the travelling costs for the executioner. Johann Reichmarks, a prolific executioner with the guillotine, received thousands of Reichmarks per year in salary, and a bonus for every person he dispatched, and he ended up living inside of a lavish villa, all paid for by execution. But the 300 Reichmarks charge was not the only fee that families had to pay. They also had to pay 1.5 Reichmarks for every day that a prisoner was locked up inside of a prison, and this covered food and other costs incurred by the family member who was imprisoned. But the Nazis charged for absolutely everything they could, and they did not want to be out of pocket for anything when dealing with executions of resistors. They even ruthlessly pursued and charged a 12 Pfennig or penny charge for what it cost for the invoice to be sent in the post to the family of the condemned, and they even wanted this 12 Pfennig back. The execution fee of 300 Reichmarks covered whatever execution method was used, and it was mostly collected against those who were guillotined, and imagine the heartbreak that many of those families had to deal with, knowing that their husbands, wives, children, grandparents and others had bravely stood up to the Nazis and had lost their lives, but then through the post, the state ordered them to pay for the privilege of the execution. It was ruthless and heartbreaking. Thanks for watching. To support our channel, please make sure to subscribe, and once again, thank you so much for watching.